This summer, I visited my Uncle Jerry in Chicago in his 62nd floor luxury condo in Oprah's building. And I know it's still Oprah's building because in the fitness center, I shave next to Stedman. And I've always wanted to ask him, are you and Oprah boyfriend and girlfriend, or is it kind of an arrangement? I didn't say anything, I just stood there lathering up at the sink and stealing sideways glances at him. He's a big guy, he's like 6'6", very impressive in a towel. My Uncle Jerry is my only blood relative other than my daughter's. He's 98 years old, and he's doing really great for 98. He said, every 2 weeks I put on a suit, and I get in a taxi, and I go downtown to the office, and I write checks. He's an attorney. Now, for years, he was 5'7", weighed 165 pounds of pure ambition. But he's slowed down, he's 5'5" now. But he's doing great. He has little white mutton chops and bright red hair that a barber pours out of a bottle for him once a month. His birthday is in December, and on this trip he said, I think I can make it to 99. I want to see Obama reelected. Now, I always thought that my uncle was a Republican. I mean, he was a real estate attorney. When I was 12, in his office, he said, you want to hold the deed to the Empire State Building? He reaches down under his desk, pulls out this elegant carrying case, opens it with a luggage key, and pulls out this thick paper embossed gold leaf object shaped like the Empire State Building. You know how much that thing's worth? No. Depends on what you trade for it. You mean like in Monopoly? Well, if you give me a couple of PGA golf courses and a steamship line and a half a dozen malls, I'll give you the deed to the Empire State Building. He was always very good with numbers. He operated the cash register in my grandmother's cigar store. My uncle is a conduit to the past. He's 98 years old, and he tells stories about my family over and over. He tells the hell out of them. And my favorite one is about the time the Sicilians robbed my grandmother's cigar store. Now, he and my dad lived behind the cigar store at 4304 Kedzie Avenue on the south side of Chicago, right across from Crane Plumbing Company. So the workers would come and buy cigarettes and cigars and ice cream and candy for my grandmother. And the store was next to St. Pancratius Polish Catholic Church, an Irish bar, a dry goods store owned by Jews, and an Italian social club, where they fixed everything from the price of cement to whose kneecaps should get busted. My uncle said, we had Dagos and Spics and Micks and Polacks and Jews. We had the whole thing. Today, you'd probably call it a rainbow neighborhood. It was 1928. My uncle was 13, my dad was 17, and they loved baseball, but they couldn't afford baseball gloves, so they used leather work gloves. Catching a fly ball was painful. St. Pancratius had a team with real baseball gloves and uniforms. Father Gabelski bought cigars for my grandmother. She spoke Polish to him, so even though my uncle and my dad were Jews, they were allowed to play for St. Pancratius. And my uncle said, your dad and I were good ball players. They didn't care we were Jews, except for the first baseman, Dribich Kanowski, who accused me of killing Christ. He said, Zhidig, which means Jew bastard. Zhidig, my pa tells me that you Jews killed Christ. I had to kick your ass for that. And I said, Dribich, the Roman centurions killed Christ. I personally had nothing to do with it. He believed me. And then I asked my ma, why is it we're Jews and we live with the Polish Catholics? They hate the Jews. And she said, they don't hate the Jews. They hate the Italians. And don't think about that stuff. This is America. That summer, my dad got a job working for Crane Plumbing Company, operating a drill press. And his arms got big, and he started drinking beer, and he was now first-string catcher for St. Pancratius. And a couple of guys came to the ball field and said, hey, Polacks, we'd like to play for your team. I'm Matty the Car. This here is Vinny the Veg. And they both had these little tiny pencil mustaches and hangdog eyes. My dad says, Vinny the Veg, you wops would know a baseball from a kidney stone. And Matty the Car pokes my dad in the chest. Morta Cristo, which is Italian for Christ killer. We play better baseball than you Polacks and you Jews combined. My dad grabs Matty the Car, puts him in a hammerlock. Hey, spaghetti twister, maybe you ought to get out of here before I shove a Louisville slugger up your ass. Matty twists out of it. He and Vinny put up their fists. My dad picks up a baseball bat. Father Gabelski runs over from the church. Boys, boys. Matty and Vinny take off, yelling, you'll be sorry, you Polak, you bastards. Well, the next day, my dad comes home from work, and he's got metal shavings all over his arms. He's drinking a beer, and his mom comes out and says, why do you drink beer now? Jews don't drink beer. We sell beer. And then my uncle says, and then your father finished his beer and grabs my brand new newsboy cap off my head. I grab it, I miss, I chase him through the store, out the back to the storage shed. Give me my hat, fatso. But instead of running, your dad puts the cap on his head, stands stock still and stares up. And on the balcony of the upstairs apartment is Mrs. Bernansky, a great, big-breasted Polish Catholic woman with auburn hair cascading down her back and a flimsy, flowery cotton dress that just waved in the breeze, and her nylon stockings rolled halfway down her calves, and on her feet, little tiny gray leather slippers. My brother says, those are the feet of a goddess. And then the Crane plumbing bell rang. It was 4 o'clock. It was the afternoon shift. And Mr. Bernansky goes to work, leaving Mrs. Bernansky on the balcony alone. And my brother by the shed, wearing my cap, watching her. And he goes, good afternoon, Mrs. Bernansky. Mrs. Bernansky stares at the horizon. She runs her fingers through her hair and gently spreads her legs, and hand on her hip. My brother goes, she's a goddess. Then her ma comes out. Julius, what are you doing? She's a married woman, and she's a shiksa. Ma, shh, I'm trying to be neighborly. Then, inside the store, somebody's pounding on the bell at the counter, so my ma and I go in and wait on him. 2 guys with hats pulled down over their eyes stand inside the store next to the front door. One of them points at the cigar counter. My ma gets down on her knees, grabs a couple of cheap hand-rolled domestics and hands them to him. And she says, La Vieja Habana. Those are very good cigars. I ring up the sale, start to write out the receipt. Meanwhile, my brother is nowhere to be seen. The tall one goes, if these cigars ain't what you say they are, we're coming back. I recognize the guy's voice. Hey, you're Matty the Car. Shut up. And he pulls out a blue steel snub-nosed .38 caliber revolver and puts it in my face. My ma screams for my brother, "Julius, we're being robbed, Julius!" And from upstairs is the sound of Mrs. Bernansky's bed springs. Matty the Car looks up. "Lover boy won't be able to help you now. Julius, where are you?" And that was when the bed springs stopped creaking. The other one says, "Let's get out of here." Matty goes, "No, I want some good cigars. Grandma, get down there and give me those Romeos and Julietas, now." So my ma gets down, grabs the cigars. I'm staring at a .38 caliber barrel, and without a sound, my brother slips in the front door and stands behind the two guys. And he's not wearing my hat. Like a catcher about to throw out a runner at second base, he cocks his fist and wham! Slams Matty the Car in the back of the head. Down he goes on the counter. He drops the gun. It skitters across the floor. My brother picks it up and sticks it into the chest of a now very nervous Vinny the Veg. Matty the Car is on the floor, out cold. Now, lucky for us, my ma had the only phone on the street. We made a couple of dollars off it. We charged a nickel a call. She calls the cops. They show up. They haul Matty the Car and Vinny the Veg down to the station and charge him with armed robbery. Gee, Uncle Jerry, wow, what happened next? Well, just like always, nothing happened. Robbery didn't show up in the papers. We had baseball games to play, ice cream to sell. It was the south side of Chicago. That stuff happened all the time. But what about my dad and Mrs. Bernansky? Oh, well, he never admitted that anything untoward took place between her and him during his visit. But that night, I lay in bed, and your dad made a very odd request. "Red, I need you to go up to Mrs. Bernansky's and knock on the door." "Why? If Mr. Bernansky's there, he'll kill me." "Just do it. She's got something for you." "What?" "Get out of here and get up there." So, in the dim light of the evening, I walk up the Bernansky stairs. I knock on the door. She opens it a crack. I can smell her perfume like a dozen roses. She slips me a bag. I run back down the stairs. I open it. It's my hat. My brother says, "See, you got it back." And I said, "Yeah, but if Mr. Bernansky found that," he goes, "Shut up, genius. Go to bed." You know, I still have that hat. That was 84 years ago. It seemed like yesterday. Life goes by so fast. Hey, how about you and me? We go upstairs and say hello to Oprah.